And I am Assistant Dean for Predoctoral Education and Director of Postgraduate Education at the New Jersey Dental School. It is a pleasure, on behalf of our Dean, students, faculty, and staff, to welcome you to the Oral Health Pavilion and to University Day. I would now like to invite Dr. Denise Rogers, who's University Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Clinical Affairs, to the podium to open the program. Did I demote you or promote you? I can't.
Thank you, Dr. Wexler. First of all, I want to thank all of you who came for the presentation by Rita Sharon this morning. And I think that one of the things that she did for us that I'm very grateful for, and for those of you who weren't able to hear her talk, to use this opportunity to remind us of our role as teachers. And I think it is something that we do on a day-to-day basis. We do it seamlessly. It takes a tremendous amount of effort that often doesn't show. But I think that one of the things that we so infrequently do is to actually take a step back for a moment and remember that that's why we're here, that we are a university at the end of the day, because at some level, all of us are here about teaching. And I'm so grateful that she provided us that opportunity to start by reflecting on our roles as teachers. And I continue to be grateful that we then have this venue to celebrate those who are being acknowledged today for their role as teachers. So I just wanted to start by saying that, and obviously to add my welcome to all of you for being here. There are some distinguished guests in the audience that I would like to start by acknowledging. The first are, we have many deans here, so just kind of raise your hand when I call your name, so people, if they don't know who you are, will see you. Dr. Sue Salmon, we'll start with, from School of Nursing. Dr. Tom Cavallari from the School of Osteopathic Medicine, Dr. Peter Amenta from Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, Dr. Audrey Gotch from the School of Public Health, Dr. Robert Johnson from New Jersey Medical School, and Dr. Julie Mallett from the School of Health-Related Professions. So they are all here with us. I'd also like to acknowledge the members of the President's Cabinet who are here. I won't read all of their titles because I might get it wrong, and then that would be horrible. So I'll just start. Jim Rowan is here, Les Aaron, raise your hands as well so people can know who to come and complain to about various things. That's why I didn't read your roles, though, so they won't know the specifics to complain about. Jim Rowan, Les Aaron, Kathy Van Camp, Denise Mulkern, David Miller, Diane Weathers, Jelaine Miller-Armbruster, and Steve Andreasen. Thank you all for being here. And I also want to acknowledge, actually, George Heinrich and Jim Golubeski from the UMDNJ Foundation. And we thank you for being here and for all of your efforts and money. So we want to acknowledge all of you for taking time to be here. And by the way, that's not to suggest that actually all of you aren't special guests as well. I just don't know all of your names, and we don't have time to read them. So I want to thank you for being here, too. Today, our 8 schools come together to mark the beginning of a new academic year. UMDNJ welcomed more than 2,200 students into our schools to begin their personal journeys to careers as healthcare professionals and scientists. They join a student body that now numbers more than 5,900 women and men on our 5 campuses. Their collective voice is an important ingredient in setting the future course for this university. And I'm actually thrilled to report this morning that this year we have the inauguration of our Student Senate. And it was established to provide a creative forum for the interchange of ideas, for our students to be able to discuss with us their dreams, aspirations, and the technicalities of things that they would like for us to do better. I think this is an important acknowledgement because remember, if we're teachers, there must be students. And I think what we have now allowed for is a real platform to hear from them in formal kinds of ways and really have their voices elevated to the very highest levels of this university. This University Day is a celebration of excellence in education at UMDNJ. In 2000, the Stuart D. Cook Master Educators Guild was created to recognize those members of the faculty who advanced the university's educational mission and in an extraordinary way. We believe that this guild was a first in higher education throughout the country. Another first this morning was the awarding of an honorary Master Educators Guild membership to Dr. Rita Sharon, a pioneer and national authority in the field of narrative medicine. I hope you heard her lecture, as I said before, and I hope that we will not only hear more from Dr. Sharon in the future, but also bring more of what she had to say into our curriculum, into our reflection on learning and patient care. This morning, I have the pleasure of introducing the newest members of the Master Educators Guild. They have been nominated by their students, peers, and deans in recognition of their accomplishments, and I congratulate them. Each of you is a dedicated teacher and leader in your field. You have a share in the awesome responsibility of educating the next generation of health professionals, scientists, policymakers, and hopefully future educators as well. Your contributions to your fields are remarkable, and as part of our recognition of you today, we have asked one of your colleagues or students to share what they believe makes you a master educator. As I call your name, please come up to the center stage with your presenter coming to the podium. We will start now with Dr. Joe Barone, Chief of Pediatric Urology in the Department of Surgery at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, with his student, Akira Yamamoto.
Good morning. It is my honor and distinct pleasure to introduce to you an outstanding physician, scientist, and teacher, a proud graduate of UMDNJ, now serving as Chief of Urology at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. He has been instrumental in inspiring the next generation of physicians. His most recent achievements in medical education include the development of a website for third and fourth year medical students, which includes case studies and videos demonstrating physical findings pertinent to the field of urology. Additionally, he has established a urology elective for first and second year medical students, inviting students into the operating room and to grand rounds, providing early exposure to an exciting yet often overlooked field. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I present to you a 2009 inductee of the UMDNJ Master Educators Guild, Dr. Joseph Barone.
A photo.
Thank you, Joe.
Next, we have Dr. Robin Eubanks, Associate Professor, Interdisciplinary Studies at the School of Health-Related Professions, with her Guild colleague, Dr. Elaine Cohane.
It is indeed a pleasure to present Dr. Robin Eubanks for the induction into the Master Educators Guild. I've known Robin for many, many years. See, I'm going off script already. Dr. Eubanks is an educator with a passion for teaching and counseling and an exceptional caring and kindness for people that drives her unique humanistic approach to education. In addition to her online and classroom teaching in SHRP, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, she has an impressive list of 90 workshops, training sessions, keynote addresses, and seminars presented to a diverse groups ranging from students at all educational levels, faculty, community groups, various professional groups, scientists, counselors, and administrators. She has that unique talent, energy, and sense of humor to immediately capture an audience and energize and inspire them to do great things. Dr. Eubanks always makes time to help a student or colleague and has made a vast difference in the lives of the many students and colleagues she has touched. So I present to you Dr. Robin Eubanks.
Congratulations.
Here's my ex.
Next, we have Dr. Barbara Fadem, Professor of Psychiatry at New Jersey Medical School, with her student, Adam Sturman.
It is most fitting for Dr. Barbara Fadem to be the recipient of the Master Educators Guild Medallion because she goes beyond the role of classroom instructor. Dr. Fadem is the one who volunteers to give her review course for Step 1. She proudly hands out envelopes on match day and inquires about students' educational experiences on a daily basis. It only begins to demonstrate the earnest concern and interest she has for all of her students. I am honored to give this award to her.
Next, Dr. Mahnaz Fatahzadeh, Associate Professor of Diagnostic Sciences at New Jersey Dental School, with Dr. Joel Martin, a Master Educator.
Good morning. Dr. Mahnaz Fatahzadeh deserves the title Master Educator because she is widely regarded at the New Jersey Dental School as just a great teacher. Students and colleagues think of her as knowledgeable, kind, intense when discussing her subject area, yet friendly and approachable, and always ready and available for a patient consultation. She loves what she does, and it shows. It is with great pleasure that I present Dr. Fatahzadeh, a 2009 inductee in the Stuart D. Cook MD Master Educators Guild. Dr. Fatahzadeh.
Next, we present Dr. Patrick Foye, also from New Jersey Medical School, where he's Associate Professor of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, with his Guild colleague, Dr. Nagaswamy Vasan.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to introduce Patrick Foye, one of my colleagues. Patrick Foye came to New Jersey Medical School 21 years ago as a student. He liked it so much, he finished the residency in Chicago and came back as a faculty 14 years ago at the Department of Physical Medicine and Rehab. Among many, within 14 years, he accomplished a lot. I just highlight a couple of them. His primary passion is teaching, whether it's teaching the medical student, resident, or colleagues, or even the patients. He conducts workshops in a national meeting that shows his interest in not only educating people within the university, even outside the university. He's an associate professor at the New Jersey Medical School, where he wears many hats. Quickly, he is the co-director of the Interventional Pain, Spine, and Musculoskeletal Fellowship, and also he's co-director of the Back Pain Clinic, and he's the director of the Coccyx Pain Center. If you're wondering what is coccyx pain, tailbone pain. He teaches in all 4 years in the medical school curriculum at New Jersey Medical School, and he's also the clerkship coordinator for PM&R students. He received recently another award, Excellence in Teaching Award from the UMDNJ Foundation, and fittingly today, we are inducting him into Master Educator Guild. Patrick, congratulations.
Dr. Deborah Josko, who's Associate Professor of Clinical Laboratory Science at the School of Health-Related Professions, will be presented by Dr. Elaine Cohane.
Good morning, back again. It's indeed an honor to present Dr. Deborah Josko to you. Dr. Josko is a dedicated and talented educator, student advocate and mentor, and an accomplished professional. As a faculty member at SHRP in the Department of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, she enthusiastically teaches courses in microbiology and immunology in both online and in-person formats. Her courses are well organized, and the students love them because they're so interesting and spiced with her professional stories. I had to get the storytelling. Her service activities to the school and the professional community are numerous and include leadership positions as well as advisor and mentor roles in student organizations. Her numerous presentations to college and high school students have encouraged many to pursue fulfilling careers in the medical laboratory sciences. Dr. Josko's commitment to excellence in education and her active professional involvement has been an inspiration for all her students. Congratulations, Dr. Josko.
Next, I want to present Dr. Mary Kamienski, Assistant Dean for Graduate Programs at the School of Nursing, and her fellow faculty member and Master Educator, Dr. Elaine Degman.
Good morning. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce to you Dr. Mary Kamienski and to support her induction into the Master Educator Guild today. Dr. Kamienski is the Assistant Dean for Graduate Programs in the School of Nursing and oversees, I believe, 28 advanced nursing programs, but it may be more because we're always growing. She's been involved in education and practice for over 2 decades. She started very, very young. Dr. Kamienski is a consummate role model. Through her leadership activities in professional nursing organizations, her successful grant awards, and her commitment to the university, she is certainly a deserving person for our Guild membership. Dr. Kamienski has had 2 recent grant awards for over $2 million, one to educate nurses to become the educators of the future, and the second to add an emergency room track to the family nurse practitioner program. Her door is always open to students and faculty, and anyone who enters her office will be the beneficiary of focused attention and sage advice. And best of all, I know that she's going to be an active, productive, working member of the Master Educator Guild. I present Dr. Mary Kamienski.
Mary, congratulations. Good for you. It is exciting. Mary's going to make that
I would like to next introduce Dr. Henry Marder, Clinical Assistant Professor of Restorative Dentistry at New Jersey Dental School, and his Guild colleague, Dr. Mark Rosenblum.
Just want to make sure that the picture is up here. Yeah. You may recognize Dr. Marder from the portal of the UMDNJ website. I remember seeing his face pop up in front of me for the entire year last year whenever I accessed the portal. It's a great privilege and honor to induct Dr. Henry Marder into the Master Educator Guild. Over the last several years, he has worked tirelessly to set and maintain the high standards of achievement in the preclinical and clinical training of our dental students that have led to their excellent performance in the clinic and on the dental board examinations. Dr. Marder's love and dedication to teaching have made him an exemplary faculty member in the dental school. I know that his innovative, disciplined, and supportive approach to teaching will continue to give our students the skills, the knowledge, and the self-confidence to become high achievers and leaders in the profession. Congratulations, Dr. Marder.
Congratulations, you look good in person.
I would like to next introduce Dr. David Mason, Acting Chair of the Department of Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine at the School of Osteopathic Medicine, with Master Educator Dr. Frank Filippetto.
Good morning. It's certainly an honor and a privilege to introduce Dr. Mason. He's a friend, he's a colleague, he's a former student, and he's a former resident of mine. As Denise has mentioned, he's acting chair of the Department of Osteopathic Medicine, and he's the residency director of our Neuromuscular Skeletal Medicine and Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine residency. He has served as course director for years 1, 2, and 3 of our Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine courses, and he is involved in the teaching in local and national GME and CME programs. He is this year's program chair of the American Academy of Osteopathy in New Orleans, and he is the co-author of the 5-Minute Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine Consult, published in 2008. But more importantly, what makes Dave so deserving of this honor is that Dr. Mason has shaped so many of the osteopathic hands of our students and residents that have gone on to treat, cure, and more importantly, comfort. Dave has brought us back to the roots of our osteopathic profession, and he has certainly made Dr. Andrew Taylor still very proud today. Congratulations, Dave.
I next introduce Dr. Susan Rosenthal, Clinical Professor of Pediatrics at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, and her colleague, Dr. Brian Gable.
Good morning. I've had the honor and privilege of working closely with Susan Rosenthal for over 10 years, first as a student, then as a resident, and finally as a colleague. I've seen firsthand what a special teacher, mentor, and person she truly is. When Susan told me that she was being inducted into the Master Educators Guild, I was ecstatic because she truly epitomizes the Westlerian ideal of a medical educator. First of all, she's an extraordinary clinician and bedside teacher. Second, she embodies and promotes humanism and professionalism throughout the medical school and is a role model because she truly practices what she preaches. In addition to her prowess as a teacher, Susan also has succeeded as an administrator in her long tenure as a student affairs dean at Robert Wood Johnson. For years, she has served as a surrogate mother for every student that has matriculated at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, mentoring them through the trials and tribulations of medical education. Throughout the years, Susan has taken a personal interest in each student and has worked tirelessly to ensure that they have received the best education and have maximized his or her potential. Finally, Susan Rosenthal is an innovator. She's constantly developing ideas and strategies that allow Robert Wood Johnson to transcend the current state of medical education. However, Susan is much more than a thinker. She is a doer. Each day, she brings a special energy, charisma, and tenacity to her job, and will work tirelessly until success is achieved. Susan does not know the word failure. For instance, Susan introduced Robert Wood Johnson Medical School to the Gold Humanism Honor Society and White Coat Ceremony well before it was in vogue in medical education culture. Unfortunately, my words do not do Susan justice, nor can they express our gratitude for all that she's accomplished at Robert Wood Johnson. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Susan Rosenthal, a great teacher, role model, and friend. Thank you.
I next introduce Dr. John Fin Sen, Associate Dean for the Piscataway, New Brunswick campus of the School of Public Health and Associate Dean for Global Public Health, with his colleague and Guild President, Dr. Gloria Bachman.
It truly is a pleasure as the Master Education Guild President to introduce our newest MEG member, and he has just glowing remarks said about him, about his educational, teaching abilities, about all of the activities that he does for students, for colleagues, and it is with a great deal of pleasure that I induct him into the Master Educator Guild.
Another new master educator from Robert Wood Johnson Medical School is Dr. Smita Patel, who unfortunately could not be here this morning. She is a professor in the Department of Biochemistry at the medical school. Please join me in again congratulating all of these new members of our Master Educators Guild. I think it is important, before we move into the next phase of our program, to also acknowledge the person for whom this guild is named and without whose leadership we would not have a Master Educators Guild. Let me ask Dr. Stuart Cook to please rise so that we may acknowledge and thank you for making all this possible. You've already met Dr. Gloria Bachman. In addition to serving as president of the Master Educators Guild, Dr. Bachman is Assistant Dean for Women's Health at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School and interim chair of the Department of OBGYN and Reproductive Sciences. She is a professor of OBGYN and in internal medicine. She has special recognition this morning for some active Guild members. Dr. Bachman.
But all the MEG members who have been in the MEG for 5 years or longer, please come up to the podium. We're going to recognize you with a certificate and a paperweight. And again, this really cannot encompass our sincere thanks for really bringing the MEG to this level that we are today. So we really are appreciative of you. And as I call out your name, please come up for your certificate. Judith Deutsch, for distinguished service to the Guild of Professional Leadership in Health Sciences Education, is the certificate, and she is with the School of Health-Related Professions. Thank you. Elaine Digman in the School of Nursing. Sandra Kaplan, School of Health-Related Professions. Elaine Kehoe in the School of Health-Related Professions. This is your third time up here. I know. David Kunz, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. Kaimon Lee, School of Osteopathic Medicine. Joel Martin, New Jersey Dental School. Marion Passananti, School of Public Health. Nicholas Ponzio, Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. Mark Rosenblum, New Jersey Dental School. Asha Samant, New Jersey Dental School. Nancy Stevenson, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. And Nagaswamy Basan. A heartfelt thanks to all of you.
Before we move to the next phase of our program, I stand before you with a face that is the shade of my blouse, as I forgot to introduce Dr. Kathy Scotto, Dean of the Graduate School, who has also reminded me that Dr. Patel, who I just introduced, who couldn't be with us, is actually a master educator from the Graduate School. So I've just blown it all around, but hopefully you will forgive me for that. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria. Next, it is an enormous pleasure and honor, actually, for me to participate in what we are about to do, and that is present the University Medal for Distinguished Leadership. It is presented each year to an individual who has advanced the university's mission in a notable way. This year, the university is pleased, and all of us should be honored, to award this medal to Commissioner Heather Howard. No, I have to read this first, right? Okay. Stand here closer so you can really hear me.
I'm standing on the X, right?
So I'm going to make you hold that, if you don't mind. So the university issued a declaration in your honor, and I'd like to read some brief excerpts. Whereas Heather Howard has devoted her talents and efforts to the development of sound health policy and greater access to health care for all New Jersey citizens. And whereas she was appointed in November 2007 to be the 14th Commissioner of New Jersey's Department of Health and Senior Services. And whereas, as Commissioner, she has been a strong advocate for maternal and child health and has also worked to strengthen the state's hospital system. And whereas, as Commissioner, she has brought the same dedication and commitment to her participation in the Board of Trustees of the university. Therefore, we declare that in recognition of her advocacy for improved healthcare access and outcomes and leadership in New Jersey and beyond, the President, on behalf of the entire university community, bestows the 2009 University Medal for Distinguished Leadership upon Commissioner Heather Howard.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Owen? Yes.
You want some?
Yeah, we're on. Thank you, Dr. Rogers, for those very kind words. Dr. Rogers is many things, as you know. She is a leader, a teacher, a friend, probably a master educator. Have you created that class yet? And she's a role model for countless students, and there's no one more passionate about all the burning health care and health education issues today, so I really appreciate the honor. Thank you. And Dr. Owen, I want to thank you for your leadership and vision, your unwavering commitment to educate New Jersey's future healthcare professionals and to provide quality healthcare for everyone is what makes UMDNJ the unique public health sciences university that it is. And Governor Corzine and I are so excited to be your partners as you lead UMDNJ in this new era of excellence. So thank you. Thank you both. I see many friends in the audience, and want to welcome you all, Dr. Cook, deans, faculty, staff, distinguished guests. I am very honored to be joining the company of such esteemed past recipients of the University Medal. It is truly a special honor that the largest public health sciences university in the country has chosen me as the recipient for the University Medal for Distinguished Leadership. This university has a long and unwavering commitment to the community, to the medically underserved, to the uninsured, to the poor, and those who would be forgotten were it not for UMDNJ. You have made a special commitment to the minority and multicultural communities of the state, and so it's especially fitting that I accept this honor this month in September, which is Minority and Multicultural Health Month. I don't know if everyone knew that. And so we share a common goal and mission to close the gap on healthcare and to make sure that everyone has equal access to healthcare, regardless of the color of their skin, the place of their birth, or the amount of money in their pocket. This distinguished university has led the way not only in research, not only in treatment, but also in cultural competency training. And we live in an incredibly diverse state, and more than 2 million of our state's residents speak a language other than English. The future doctors, nurses, dentists, scientists, lab technicians, physician's assistants, I could go on, who graduate from this university each year are uniquely qualified to provide culturally competent care in New Jersey and to help reduce the health disparities that are in our state. When we reduce those health disparities, both in care and in caring, and comforting, I think was the word one of you used, which I thought was a good one that I will add to my lexicon as we talk about healthcare, we improve the overall state of health in New Jersey. And let me tell you, our efforts are not going unnoticed. I want to mention two particular salient facts that have happened recently. Governor Corzine, you may have noticed, announced this past week that we were one of the few states in the nation that has actually decreased our number of uninsured. I don't know whether everyone saw that, but I want to give him a lot of credit. At a time when the national rate of the uninsured is going up, when all of our neighboring states are dealing with higher rates of uninsured, over the last year, New Jersey has actually decreased our uninsured by 11%, which is really something to celebrate. So I want to give Governor Corzine credit. Thank you. And that's Also, the Obama administration is recognizing the great work here in New Jersey, in particular here at UMDNJ. Just in the last week, the Obama administration announced grants to universities across the country from the stimulus package, which you probably remember was enacted earlier this year, and UMDNJ was awarded, let me get this right, almost $250,000 in stimulus funds to provide scholarships to students who are pursuing careers in the health professions, more than any other institution in New Jersey. So really, your work is being recognized in Washington, and I want to commend that as well. There really is no greater partnership in healthcare in New Jersey than the one between UMDNJ and the state and the Department of Health and Senior Services, and I think this award is really a recognition of that partnership, and I take it as such. For me, I get to do a lot of fun things on my job and a lot of not fun things on my job, but one of the most enjoyable things that I've been able to do as commissioner is serving on the Board of Trustees of UMDNJ. And then, of course, now today to receive this University Medal for Distinguished Leadership. So I'm so proud to be here today. It's exciting to be here on University Day as we kick off a new year of teaching, learning, and serving. And thank you. Thank you very much.